All right. Oh, no, take a stretch. Take a stretch. That's right. Mm-hmm. All right, Craig. Take a stretch. Good girl. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. We'll do it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to church in Ocean Park. And for some of us, we might say, Happy New Year. Why? Because it's the first Sunday of Advent, the beginning of the liturgical year in the Christian tradition, and first Sunday of the 4 Sundays of Advent. And so we're going to do some singing, but you know this song, so please help us out with singing. Now, Dr. Nate, you're recording us up there. So good to see everybody. All right. So I'll sing it the first time, and you'll know what to do. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down and study war no more. All right, now help us sing. Come on, here we go. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down. Lay it down, y'all. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down. Oh, down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay my burden down and study war no more. Ain't gonna study. Here we go. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Now that sounded pretty good, y'all. And everybody up on Zoom, we hope you're singing with us too. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna walk in the ways of peace. Walk with me now. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna walk in the ways of peace. Yeah. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna walk in the ways of peace. I ain't gonna study war no more. Here we go. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Ain't gonna study. Sing it loud. Here we go. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Welcome to church in Ocean Park. All right.
Thank you. Okay. I hope I can see this. As you entered this century-old Methodist church and walked up the stairs, only to be greeted by an informal and friendly setting, where getting seconds and thirds of coffee is totally acceptable here, there may be some of you who are wondering if you are welcome here. The religiously inspired stained glass art in the windows may have you wondering, who belongs in this space? In thinking about what kind of community we are here at the church in Ocean Park, let me give you an idea of who we are, what we are, and who we are for. We are multi-faith, so you are welcome if you are Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Ifa, Buddhist, Christian, atheist, decidedly anti-religious, or some combination of the aforementioned or something else altogether. You are welcome here. You are welcome if you are single, married, divorced, widowed, gay, transgender, non-binary, or queer. You are welcome here if your idea of a spiritual experience is singing your heart out to the Lord in solidarity with your community, or if your spirituality is grounded in deep analysis of religious texts, where questions ground you. Or maybe you're like Dr. Kim Harris and you love and incorporate both approaches. Am I right? We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been to your mosque since before the pandemic. We also welcome those who have never set foot in a religious or spiritual space before now. We welcome those who find organized religion deeply stabilizing and those who want a more rebellious religious experience, those who want the structure of doctrine because they feel safe without certainty, or those who pine for songs of liberation where the challenge to the dominant theological culture and narrative is the norm. This one. We welcome those who find tradition with a capital T the most comforting thing to experience God's grace, or those who say capital T tradition needs serious reform. I'm thinking about those who want to celebrate and lift up pluralism, acknowledging that beyond one tradition's understanding of God lies a whole world of spiritual discovery, and that there may not even be a God there. We especially welcome you if you've been hurt by a religious community, and we hope that you find this place to be a place of healing. We welcome soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegans, and junk food eaters. We welcome those who are in recovery or still struggling with addiction. We welcome those who want lifting up and those who are so grounded the trees are jealous. We welcome those who own more than one house, those who are looking for housing, don't have housing, wonder where their next meal might come from. We welcome CEOs, the unemployed, the don't want to be employed, and those who are basking in the joy of their retirement. Most importantly, beyond all mentioned here, we welcome you. No matter, I just get so emotional. No matter your ability or where you were born, what papers you have or may not have, you don't need to prove you have worth. You are sacred, imbued with a dignity found in all living beings, just the way you are. You are welcome here. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
I think we had our sermon. We can go home now. I'm Reverend Janet Gollery McKithen. I'm the minister here, and I also welcome you. You don't need much more of a welcome after Daria's beautiful welcome. But this is a unique religious community focused on helping to create a more equitable and beautiful world, which we know there's a lot of need right now for that. We begin by acknowledging that we are sitting right now on stolen land. In Santa Monica, the land was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. settler colonialism. We also acknowledge that our communities and our country was built on the backs of people who were stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and then forced into labor, and that labor has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to helping change the world by changing how we do things, the little things that we see as normal, but that are actually systemically hurting people. We also acknowledge that we have allowed an authoritarian government to take root in our country and spread like wildfire, and people are being kidnapped off of our streets and disappeared, and fear is rampant. We also acknowledge that we are responsible for destroying cultures and civilizations in other countries as well, and that our tax dollars are funding genocide in Gaza. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world, no matter how dangerous or how risky, because people's lives are at stake. All of us have biases, and it takes intentionality to actually have compassion for somebody who was raised in a different way or have different experiences than we do. It's been scientifically shown that it's in order that we have empathy from people who are like us automatically, and it takes intentionality to build empathy for people who have different experiences. This morning you'll hear from a variety of people. If you hear from something that you disagree with, know that your voice and your opinions and your perspective is just as important as whoever it was that just spoke. Thank you for being a part of this community this morning. Thank you for helping break barriers and build more compassion. Thank you for helping bend the arc a little bit more towards justice each and every day. Thank you for being here. We center ourselves each week with a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Let's take a deep breath. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We're changing it up a little bit. At the moment, now we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do our, every Sunday in Advent, we light the Advent candles, the 4 Sundays before Christmas. And today is the first Sunday of Advent. As Dr. Kim mentioned, we're going to light the Advent candle of hope.
Okay. Izzy, this is Izzy and Andrea, Hurley, Jim, and Wendy. And we're representing the candle of hope for 2025. When I look around, I see shadows of hunger. So many neighbors nearby and around the world will go to bed hungry tonight.
When I look around, I see shadows of injustice, the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And someone somewhere will fall asleep under a bridge tonight.
In the face of hunger, we light a candle of hope.
In the face of injustice, in the face of despair, we light a candle of hope.
And then you want to say it, light the candle of hope.
We light the candle of hope.
I invite you to I invite you to sing with me all the time, and now, too. You've all heard this probably. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, and dark sacred night. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Good morning, church in Ocean Park. I love that song. Hold on. So I'm going to be reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, 1 through 5. This is what Isaiah, son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In the days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest mountain and raised above the hills. All nations shall stream towards it. Many people shall come and say, come, let us climb the Lord's mountain to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may instruct us in his way, and we may walk in his path. For from Zion shall go forth instructions, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations and impose terms on many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. One nation shall not raise the sword against another, nor shall they train for war again. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. at Loyola Marymount University, we have 1 week of classes left. Can you believe it? I know, because some people are going, yay! 1 week of classes left. And I'm planning for the final I'm going to give to my students. I think I'm going to have them watch the YouTube of you, Daria, with that welcome. And of you, Reverend Janet, and of you singing, Louise, and of you reading, Gina. I think I'm going to have them watch that. And of the lighting of the Advent candle. Because we have heard so many incredible words of hope this morning. Many words of hope this morning. And yes, I love to say it as a Catholic Christian person. I want to say, Happy New Year, Happy Liturgical Year. Yes, Happy First Sunday of Advent. Okay, so. And yet, when we hear all those words, in many ways, you might be thinking, hope? Really? Hope? At this time in our nation's history, in our world history, hope? But as people who are called into this time of waiting, we need to be active waiters. Now, I know that sounds like somebody going around with, okay, yes, what do you need? Here I am, I'm your active waiter. We need to be active waiters. What could that mean? We need to think about what we are waiting for, about that wonderful world that we want to build. How is it going to look? Now, the vibe here at Church of Ocean Park isn't usually someone is going to sweep in and bring that new world into being. That's not our vibe. We are active waiters. We have to say what we want to happen and how we're going to do it. In other words, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Somebody say amen. We are the ones. In that reading, now, I'm going to actually pull out the Bible. We don't always pull this out. I went up there, took it down from there, and thank you for reading that so wonderfully, Gina. Thank you. That's incredible. Thinking about Isaiah talking about all kinds of things. There's going to be this mountain of the Lord, and it'll be raised above the hills, and nations are going to flow to it, and people are going to say, come on, let's go to the mountain of the Lord. It's going to look good. There's going to be abundant food, and God is going to teach us all kinds of ways, and we're going to walk in the paths of God, and then from there is going to go out all kinds of judgments that say, all right, y'all, get it together. And God will judge between nations. And it says they, but it means we will beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks. And nation shall not lift the sword against the nation. Nor shall they learn, nor shall we learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come. Let us walk in the light of the Lord. Oh, church in Ocean Park, come on. Let us walk in the light of God. So how's that going to look? How is that going to look? If we are the ones we've been waiting for, we need to think about what kind of actions that's going to be. Now, it might be some big actions, And, there are many people here, you get those signs and you go out and you protest. There are people here that if somebody comes up to your house late at night, we're going to go back to what it was like during Underground Railroad days. You let them in and you hide them where you got to hide them, just saying. How is that going to look? Where there's going to be food for everybody. And we know it has a need of food, I mean, Thanksgiving time, folks are, the turkeys of the world are hiding. Because folks have been, giving out turkeys here and there and everything. But, we're coming out of Thanksgiving week, but there's still a need for food. How is that going to look? There's so many places where people are thinking about war and planning for war and coming up with different ways of war. How are we going to counter that as active waiters? How is that going to look? Now, I would love to get up here and tell you all my ideas, but that would be kind of crazy because there are some people who I respect, as most folks respect more than most people in the world, sitting right here in this room. And so I know you've got some ideas on how it could look. I'll just give you one thing I've been thinking of, and especially because I know there are certain people in this room who have just recently become grandparents. And folks, you've got grandchildren, and you got children, you got nieces and nephews, and you know what I've been thinking about lately? How hard it would be to raise young ones at this time. Because you can't even have them look at the leaders of the country and have them see someone who deports themselves. Yes, I said the word deports themselves. Sometimes I wish he would self-deport, just saying. Who deports themselves in a way that is clear and just and loving. I mean, even the kind of language that is being used in the highest places of our nation. How can we teach our children to speak respectfully when they're hearing things like, "Shut up, piggy"? I mean, come on. So when I think about grandma, grandpa, nana, and all the different ways that our young people are looking to us, I keep thinking even for myself that something small I will do, and I'm trying hard to do, is to clean up my language and my ways of speaking about people that I disagree with. Trying to think of ways. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them. That's not what I'm talking about. But how am I going to talk about them? We need to find some things, the small things and the large things. I think about my students in class, and yes, when I give them the link and say, you got to watch this and write about this service and think about it, and that'll be part of your final, when I give them that, I'm hoping that what they have gotten from the time of the semester is to think about how we welcome people of different traditions, how we think about people who have some different ways than we have. People that have been raised with different languages, different cultures. We don't think everybody is exactly like me. Because thank God they're not, because there wouldn't be enough hairdressers in the world to get it all done, just saying. So how do we think about people who are coming from some very different ways, different traditions and languages and thoughts than I have? And to think about what are the fears that people are carrying. And their fears, they're real fears. Now, we know sometimes they are fired on by disrespectful words, fired on by downright lies. But how are we going to be welcoming. Inviting them to come on in, to say, yes, you really are welcome here. We're not just playing around. And you know, I've said this before, one of the things about this place that my students find so intriguing is the very welcome that we proclaim each and every week. So how are we going to live that out? Now, I'm going to invite you, just turn to somebody near you and just tell them, how can we help to create that wonderful world that Louise sung about? How are we going to beat our swords into plowshares? What ideas do you have? Just turn to somebody, just tell them something that you're thinking. Just give them a second. What can we do? Louise, find somebody to talk to. You can come up here and talk to me.
Sing as much as we can, even in public or in a restaurant. Dance more. Dance. Be free to dance. What about you?
I especially like to say hi to people, because even just walking by.
I know. I know this. I'm sorry to say, young people don't say hi as much as old people do.
And people up on Zoom, if you want to put something in the chat, how can we create that world that we want? All right. Get ready, Dr. Nate. I'm going to run around just a little bit, okay? All right. How can we? Just, you got one idea of something you would like to do? Yeah, just give one real quick idea.
We didn't talk about this, but get rid of so many packaged foods and go back to whole foods.
That's right. Not to the store necessarily, but to Whole Foods as in. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Any ideas up in here?
Yeah, love our kids and hold them close.
Yes, indeed. Love our kids. Hold them close. And we may even have to love some people that are more seasoned. Just saying. Yes.
As an early childhood educator, one of the things that we try to do is to lead by example with our children. And so one of the things we say to them when they're having they're fighting or they're disagreeing, we'll say, practice being kind. Practice being kind. And so I try to, and the teachers try to to lead that way. I wish that the current commander-in-chief, as I was sharing with her, could be that way. Practice being kind.
And whether he is or not, we have to be that way. We have to be doubly, triply that way, because folks can't see it, and our young people can't see it.
Yeah, we can use what little resources we have. We have more than we think we have. And so little is much if God is in it.
Little is much if God is in it. I'm going to quote you. Thank you. Is there something you want to say?
Yeah, I was thinking of the Dalai Lama. Whenever possible, be kind. It is always possible.
Well, I mean, I guess if I was going to give a general headline, it was basically to try to keep a sense of humor. My proposal to Fred was poetry and potlucks. That's what we could do here to change the world in a positive direction.
One stew at a time, just saying. Okay, all right, gotta get my steps in today. All right, Gina.
I like what my partner said about, the way we were raised. And I wanted to add on to that, like, when we were raised to just be truthful. And you know what? A lot of times we don't have that. And like I tell my daughter all the time, I'm going to tell the truth. I don't care. I'm going to tell the truth. And that's why I live by. I tell the truth. Yeah, I stole it. Yeah, I took it. Yeah, I don't like you. Yeah, this. But I'm going to be truthful.
Thank you. Now, people on Zoom, if you have something to say, you raise your hand up there and we can. Do you want to add something to this?
I think we need more change than just the people that are here. Like, I think we need, like, if we look at our country, it's like we need like more sort of Mandanis and stuff like that. And I think that, like, unless we have like major change, like, we're kind of screwed.
So we need to build it out a whole lot more. Yeah. Would you like to say something?
I guess just being understanding that not everybody is raised to be open, and that people come from all different kinds of circumstances, and we all hurt, and we all have pain, and we all love, and just being kind and understanding of that. I mean, like you said, there a lot of times they're just being fed lies, and they don't even know any better. So it's like if you come across someone like that, it's just trying to be open to that. And, being kind, I think, is the best way to try to help them, maybe move them in a different direction, be understanding.
And, some people might say, oh, they're just talking about being nice and being kind and stuff. But you know what? It takes work. It takes commitment. Anything you wanted to say back here?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm holding the mic.
Okay, you're she's in control.
That's right.
Well, Adolf Hitler Trump is about to invade Venezuela, and I think Congress should pass a law that the only kind of bombs we can drop are bombs of candy bars, pizza, and ice cream.
Okay. I'm imagining the pizzas flying around. But yes, we have some things. When historians look back at this time, they're going to say, what were we doing? The way we look back at times in history and ask those questions. What were they doing then? So we're thinking about it as our active waiters.
Let me ask first, does this, because my answer is going to be contingent upon how you answer this. Does this replace community sharing, or are we still going to have...
You ask Reverend Janet, I don't know. All right, but
operating under the premise that it doesn't, I think what is needed is what it is you're starting to do. Essentially go around and see specifically, hold the microphone in front of somebody and let them talk straight from the heart, because I think most of the problems we have result due to a lack of communication. Communication is always important, not just communication, but understanding what a person is saying as he says it, and then acknowledging that he got it right. And then we can have an open, seasoned dialogue.
Once again, that's not easy necessarily. That is not easy. Can I scoot right in front of you here? Like I said, you talked to Reverend Janet about what.
Speak truth to power, and try to expose the youth, because everyone's so manipulated by the internet, and messages that we don't even realize we're getting just looking at something, and the youth are really involved in that, and we have to help them, because there's so much danger out there and so many lies.
That's for sure. We have to help them and help ourselves too, because we're being fed many different lies. So, Reverend Janet.
I just want to say building as many little pockets of community as possible, and inviting people to invite their friends that you've never met, and their friends, and little time, as many times as you can, so people can have more community. There are people online as well.
So building some pockets of community. Bob. Did you unmute yourself, Bob, up there online? Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Okay. I'd like to share a few ideas from a book that I recently finished reading. It's called Practical Radicals: 7 Strategies to Change the World. Written by Deepak Bhargava and Stephanie Luce. Only published a year or two ago.
So how about if you...
Well, there's so much in it, but...
I know. How about if you give us... my mic is a little weird here. How about if you give us like one of the ideas, and then we're going to come back to that book. You know, it sounds like that's a whole Sunday right there. So give us one good one from there.
Okay. One good one is that you can make a distinction between, in their language, pragmatists who tend to address the immediate situation. Progressives, for instance, they may want to just put a lot of energy into getting a certain person elected. Okay. The other idea is then there are people who are more utopians, and they like to dream big about a future which is very, very different from ours. And they suggest that it's important to have a balance between those kinds of energy. They think we do need to have values, that we're aiming for, that you might call utopian. We also need to address getting this person hidden so he or she won't be picked up by ICE, things like that. And in general, they say they like to think in terms of developing a utopian vision, but also a kind of 5-year goal to do something quite major, such as having universal health care or something, in that might not take a endless amount of time, might not take a lifetime, but will take a while. And then and then we're dealing with day-to-day things. But
right.
They recommend having a number of time frames in mind simultaneously, one sort of nested within another. That's one idea. I'll leave it at that.
This mic is having its challenges. Thank you, Bob. That book sounds very interesting. Is there something that you wanted to say?
For me personally, it's an attempt to balance impatience and kindness.
And
we got Abby.
Impatience and kindness. Abby. You have to unmute, Abby.
My challenge is, as a person with disability, working with medical community, I don't think they could have designed a better hell. So I have some non-life-threatening issues that I'm trying to deal with. So I go there and, okay, here's some forms to fill out. Well, I'm blind, I need help. Uh, how many are, okay, now you can go into the exam room, get on the scale. Oh, well, I can't stand, I can't do that. Well, what about here? Get it on this table. No, unless you have your bed at the same level as my chair, no, it doesn't go down that low. And I mean, I could give other examples, but I mean, I really want to scream at these people saying, I have the same rights as anybody else for medical care and unit. But I mean, I know that doesn't work. I mean, I'm not sure what does, but I know I have to be kind to these people. I mean, they never thought about these issues, and they're not the ones that designed the medical system. So anyway, I'm still looking for somebody that'll deal with all those issues without saying, you don't belong here, it's your fault, you're not cooperating. Well, I guess you get the idea.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right now. Okay.
I was thinking about communication and the importance of it and sort of the loss of civility. But the other thing that I realize in dealing with people is to have empathy for where they are individually, and really whatever they're expressing may come from probably comes from a lived experience, certainly that isn't my lived experience, and to just try to recognize that in a meaningful way, to be better able to communicate with them.
Thank you.
For me, I think it's about really dissecting the way that people think that are really different from how I think, because it's easy for me to say, oh yeah, I get that, I agree. But if I can really understand the viewpoint of somebody who has a completely different set of assumptions than I do, then I've really contributed something.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And I want to see that welcome that you did, please. I'm going to have you. Mm-hmm. And Louise. Yes, remember you and I said tell me what you said to me.
I said it would be nice if people just were more friendly on the street, say hi to somebody passing you by, and maybe be free to sing more. If people got into singing more. It's very human to just sing. Don't have to be good at it. And dance more. I'd love to see that.
Mm-hmm. I thank you. And I love that, being kind to someone on the street. So many times people are walking like this, their head down. So how can we? Yes, they don't even look. I mean, walk right into you. So as we think about ourselves as actively waiting during this Advent time, and imagine this, what did you say, Reverend Janet? This pocket, a small pocket of community. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can build a different kind of place. We are building a different kind of place. I'm going to just finish up with a song that really expresses that for me. And when I was thinking of this song, it reminded me of church in Ocean Park. Did I miss somebody on Zoom that had a hand up? Bill, was there something you wanted to say, Bill?
Just to do a better job of listening. So many people have already said that, but I know that's my particular challenge.
So, thank you, Bill. And thanks for your patience as we're going around here. Thank you. Let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live. A place where saints and children tell how hearts learn to forgive. Build of hopes and dreams and visions, rock of faith and vault of grace. Here the love for all shall end divisions. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Let us build a house where prophets speak. That's y'all. Y'all are the prophets, okay? And words are strong and true, where all us children dare to seek, to dream God's reign anew. Here our deeds shall stand as witness and a symbol of love's grace. Here as one we claim each other freely. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Let us build a house where all are named, their songs and visions heard, and loved and treasured, taught and claimed as words within the word. Build up tears and cries and laughter, prayers of faith and songs of grace. Let this house proclaim from roof and rafters, beautiful new rafters, huh? All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Sing that again. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. And let the church say amen. Amen.
Whoa, wow. Beautiful. So we do have a few moments for just maybe like 3 people who would like to share at the moment. We all did get a moment to share, but if you have something that's biting on you, please we have a few minutes.
This is very, very new for me because the faith of Catholicism that I encountered as a child never would have considered an African as a pope, much less an African-American woman even given a sermon, much less what it is you talked about. And so in that respect, as you talk about hope, there is the ability to reach out that hope because clearly that portion of the faith has changed. And I'm wondering specifically how you, because this would have been the question that I would ask, how you in essence envision more or less strengthening that bond and that change that is so needed within this community, specifically those in that archdiocese that, come from that old school, if they're still there.
If they're still there, yes. Well, here we are in, this is November 30th, right? And it's the last day of Black Catholic History Month. And so we have been celebrating and thinking about it and learning the history because, I didn't know that there were African popes, but there certainly have been African popes. I didn't know a lot about, I'm learning more and more of the history. And so some of it is bringing the history to light, and then some of it is creating our own history now. So part of what I envision, one of the things that I work for actively is that there be a Black American Catholic saint, because there isn't one. There's some that are along the way. Black American. Black American, like an African American. There are people that are on the road to sainthood. So pushing toward that, because yes, there are people who have been of African descent in various ways, but there's not one from the United States, and that's because of racism in the church. So working actively against racism in the church, that's one of the things that I have to envision and keep doing and keep pushing along, because sometimes I walk into a Catholic church that's predominantly white, and people sort of say, well, they look at me like, what are you doing here? And then try to start explaining the Mass to me. And I'm like, yeah, and that happens. And that's a fairly common experience that many African Americans face.
You understand the question?
Yes, absolutely. I understand the question. So just continuing to work to bring the history to light, but to say our presence, we're here, and we're loud and we're proud, so just don't mess with us, all right? Okay.
I cannot imagine somebody asking you or explaining the Mass to you. That's amazing to me.
Oh, and Louise has her.
Yeah, I have to admit I wasn't so good a listener the other day. Somebody in my gospel choir, the emeritus choir that I'm in, I was talking to her and I said something about Mr. T, and she said, oh, I like him. And I said, really? What about this? And then she's talked and I thought, I gotta listen to her. So I listened, and then she said, wow, you're listening to me. I said, yeah, I know. And then she said something else, and then I started arguing. And then something happened, so her last impression of me was that I was somebody. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that impulse, but I just remember somebody saying, who wrote a book called Hard Politics, she said, nobody will change unless they feel you love them. And I think listening with understanding and trying to respect somebody and listen is a form of love. And I didn't give it to her that day, except for about 1 or 2 sentences. So just a reminder for myself.
All right. Anybody else?
Since we're talking about Catholicism, right?
That can be something we talk about.
Okay, well, I was thinking, being an African American and having it was 5 of us. We all went to, let's say, Catholic school, Catholic church, whatever. But the hardest thing was for that entire church to find godmothers and godfathers for 5 black girls that were getting ready to be baptized. So, we're probably 8, 9 or something like that, and our godfathers are probably 70, 80, or something like that. Because they weren't expecting, 5 little girls, to want to, go to church there or go to school there, and it was just really, really hard for them to find someone to, to meet our needs as far as wanting to be baptized into Catholicism, wanting to taste our first Holy Communion, all that. It was really hard. But we were, my family, we were one of the first Black families in our town to be integrated into that system because they didn't have any Blacks in the church or in the schools. So it was sort of like a pilot program.
Wow. Where did you grow up? Where
Pennsylvania, girl.
Well, except where? What town in Pennsylvania?
Oh, Altoona.
Oh, Altoona. Okay. Mm-hmm,
okay.
So,
it was kind of funny because, we were the only Black little girls in uniforms for like probably a 5-year period because it was like we're all stair steps. So it was like, but yeah, I just thought about that, how hard it was to, you probably have a godparent that's getting ready to pass away almost.
So thank you. Thanks for.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
One more, and then we'll have a moment of silence.
Okay. I guess, I just wanted to say something. But thank you for sharing that experience. There was something else going on over in Philly, where we did have, Black Catholic churches and all different kinds of things. But what I was also thinking about as I was listening to your experiences, how we bring more people into church in Ocean Park. Are we able to provide what our young people need, to invite them and to say, you're welcome, we're glad you're here, and we have something for you. Not a uniform, but we have something for you. So thank you.
Since there's been a lot of talk about the Catholic Church, and as an ex-Catholic, atheist, trans, queer person, I would like to ask the question, can an angel born in hell can break that demon spell of where the Catholic Church was born from?
All right, give me just a little bit more.
I think the church is a horrible institution, and I didn't want to rag on it too much, but I think it's like when you see people that are minority groups. Like my mom recently went to the Catholic Church. She's also a trans woman, and I just on the phone with her, I was like, "What the heck are you thinking? They don't want you there. You don't belong there. Why the heck are you showing up there?"
I think my first thing is, I would wonder why. There's something in her. What would make her still want to go back? Is there something she is looking for? And I don't know if you have the answer, but that would be the first thing. And the other thing that I would think of is that part of the crowd that I hang with are some of the pockets of community. The pockets where there are people like Father James Martin and Father Brian Massengale. Now, James Martin is Jesuit, out advocating for LGBTQ community, his own community, and he gets protested a lot, but he keeps on doing it. And he's white. And Father Brian Massengale, Black priest, out advocating and working, and he's actually one of the top professors at Fordham University. So, but like I said, small pockets, and how do we expand those pockets? And I wonder what it is. There's something that makes people sometimes go back. And I always hope and pray that if someone says, I want something from this institution for whatever reason, that there will be someone there to say, you're welcome. You are welcome. So, but
all right.
thanks.
Well, we want to thank you, Dr. Kim, so much. We'll have a moment of silence and then.
We are the ones, we've been waiting. are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, 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 we are the ones we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting.
Good morning. I made a mistake. The one thing is give more. That's my my thing for today. Give more and give again. And it is nearing the end of the year, and we have both our pledge campaign. So that's an opportunity to commit for the coming year, to give regularly to the church so that we can plan. And the other is just, it is that time of the year where anything you can to do is important. So thank you for that. And I see, not to call out Chris, but he's collected like a year's worth of coins, which we all do, right? And those are useful as well. So thank you.
What does the Lord require of you? 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 To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. What does the Lord require of you? 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 To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God.
Every Sunday, somebody signs up for bread, or most Sundays, some people sign up for bread, and then they get to speak from their heart and pass around bread. And today we're lucky because Chaplain Joseph is doing bread.
Okay. I'm very happy today to do bread because especially today is my birthday. My birth certificate tells me I'm 82 years of age. That's what I'm told. Now I want to say something about hope. In our chaplaincy programs, as a chaplain in hospital, we have to be careful how we give hope. Too much or too positive would be destructive, and too little is a problem in itself. So many times I tell stories to illustrate what I want to share with them, with patients, and sometimes with staff as well. So my youngest sister, her name is Kathy. My youngest sister, Kathy, was twin. They were twins, and the twin boy died when they were 3 months of age. 3 months old, the twin died. She is still alive. She's the youngest. She's in her 60s now. And there's one thing that she continues to do every single day. Every day. She likes jigsaw puzzles. And she would have a puzzle there with 2,000 jigsaw, 2,000 pieces. I don't know how she does it. But she was patient enough to sit there day after day, month after month, finishes one, she goes to another one. And you know, these jigsaw puzzles has a picture, and you have to fit in all these little pieces of the puzzle to complete the picture. So this is what I tell patients, some patients, depending on the situation. Each jigsaw puzzle, each of the puzzles are of a different shape, different size, different color, right? Each of us is a jigsaw puzzle. Each of you is a jigsaw puzzle. Different shape, different size, different color, different place we come from. All the puzzles are scattered all over the table. They come from different areas, different positions on the table of life. So these jigsaw pieces, these pieces of the puzzle, we are those pieces. And we have to join together, despite our shape and color and everything. She has to join them together so that the picture will be made plain. So in order for us to understand our situation, it means that you are still part of the puzzle. You may be sick, you may be dying, you may have a problem, but each of us is a significant part in order to make that picture of life whole. Some of us, sometimes you find a piece of the puzzle right away, and you fit it in right away. Sometimes it takes days and weeks for my sister to find that particular puzzle to fit it in. So it is with us. So it is with us. Some people come just for breakfast. Some people come just for lunch. You understand what I'm saying? Some people come for supper. Some people come for the meal after supper. We spend different times here with one another. And whether the time is short or long, each one is equally significant. Because without that little piece, the whole picture is out of shape and out of order. So we give thanks. that each person is significant, each person has a place, and even though we spend a 5 minute or an 85 years, each are the same important person. So they smile, and they look at me as though I'm from Mars, and they say, yes, we understand. Thank you.
I'm ready for Izzy.
Let's make a circle. Make a circle. 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 In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, in 1.
I think there's a couple people still in the background. Open it up. Open up 4 more people. All right. Welcome to our closing circle. There's still a couple more people getting stuff if they might come on. This is a time for joys.
Yay, one more quick song. Bum, bum, bum. We are marching in the light of light. We are marching in the light of light. We are marching in the light of light. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are singing in the light of light. We are singing in the light of God. We are singing in the light of God. We are singing in the light of God. Oh, we are singing, singing, we are singing. We are singing in the light of light. We are singing, singing, we are singing. Woo, we are singing in the light of God.
And we're going to say together, carry on. 1, 2, 3, carry on!